Hey, time out. He's recording. I'm ready.
But I never did because I realized that would be un-American
What?
to kill an unarmed person. So, like I said yesterday, all I did was knock him over the head with his helmet a little bit. And so he's unconscious on the floor. I grab up all of his papers, and they're in Vietnamese, so I can't read them. So I figured I would grab them anyway because there must be someone back at the base like that one Asian guy that can read it.
Hi, Brady.
So I stuff them in my book bag, and I go back to the entrance and I climb back up the ladder. And when I climb up the ladder, what I see is all of the soldiers that got struck by my grenade, they were gone. All there was tattered clothing and a few bloodstains someplace. So I got up there and I found some dog tags. Now usually this means that either the soldier forgot them or he was simply
Killed.
Yeah, KIA, killed in action.
Do you know have any proof?
So I stoop down and pick up the dog tags, and the dog tags have a name on them. It's a familiar name.
He was drunk again.
The name on them was Forrest Gump.
Not him again.
Now this time he was a Private Forrest Gump. So we got back to
He is the winner of the Grand Championship.
So I'm a man of many accomplishments, as you can see. So I start heading back to our base So I start heading back to the base camp, right? And I remember that the trail was actually booby trapped. So I figured I would go off the trail a little bit. This is where the story gets interesting. So I'm walking.
Don't interrupt. It's about time.
I'm walking through the forest. I still got my M16 on my back. Well, actually, it's an AK-47 because it's from the North Vietnamese. Yep. Got my combat knife right here, 9mm right here. Now I'm walking through the forest, and I hear something. I grab my gun. I have it up like this, all James Bond style. And I'm still walking through. I hear that same noise again. And finally, I come to realize that noise was a North Vietnamese soldier. This North Vietnamese, I thought that he had been watching me the whole entire time from the moment I entered the forest. And so I slowly walk toward the noise. And as I'm walking closer, you can hear the bushes rustling a little bit more.
Get a good angle.
So I finally realized that a pistol is not going to do any damage. Any damage to this North Vietnamese is most likely he has armor on. So I put my pistol back, pull out my AK-47. I'm getting ready to aim because I know he's going to pop up at any moment. He's going to be like this. Okay, hold these bushes right here. So he's like this. And he's going to be like, and he's going to start shooting at me. So as I walk closer to him, I'm getting lower and lower because I know he's going to shoot. So finally, I'm down here like this. And you have to remember, it's very windy in the jungle. So there's bushes in my face and stuff. And I'm climbing like this. And then the bushes rustle a little bit more. His cover is blown! And then so then I realized that I kind of hard to shoot the Vietnamese when he's above me and I'm below him. So I get on my knee, like this. Good position to shoot from. Am I going on to that? Am I right? And then what do I see? I see this monkey fly out of the bushes. It's like, it's like a, when it flies up, and it's like hanging from the tree. It's like, and so I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This monkey was following me the whole time. And it's like, and then I'm like, you know what? I mean, monkeys don't do anything here. So then I aim at it, and then as I'm about to shoot, behind me I hear, Yahashonama. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's North Vietnamese. So I slowly put down my gun. I turn around and look, and there is North Vietnamese soldiers from here, standing all the way to here. There's a whole entire perimeter of them around me.
Oh my gosh. How are you? Okay, go.
Okay, so behind me, there's a whole entire perimeter of North Vietnamese soldiers. At this point, excuse my language, I'm screwed. Because I turn around, and I see all these little Asian people, and they're like looking at me, and they have their bayonets fixed on their guns. So if they don't shoot me, they're going to kill me either way. Excuse me, sir, can you please not sit on the audience members? That's what
I know Vietnamese.
Okay. So, I'll just fast forward a little bit here.
Hello, Brady.
Long story short,
That part. It's
What?
the climax. You can't skip the part where they're about to kill you.
I'm coming up to the climax. So,
He just
anyway,
skipped most of the climax. Just keep going.
I put down my gun, you know, I surrender up the arms up and everything. And they're like surrounding me and stuff. You know, they tie my arms behind my back. And they put a blindfold around me because they didn't want me to know where the base was. So I'm standing there like this. I don't know what they're about to do to me. But I'm pretty sure one guy's grabbing my butt. That's kind of weird. So I'm standing there. I'm like, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Can you please stop feeling my butt? And then the guy's behind me, he's like, hey, you're quiet. And then I'm like, okay. And then I feel it again. I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of weird. And so, you know, I try to move away from it a little bit. I like shift over to the side a little bit. And I don't know, you know, I'm blindfolded, so I don't know where I am. And I bump into something that's like really hard. And when they took the blindfold off, I realized that it's this gigantic, like he's really buff. He's like a buff Vietnamese dude. And he's like, you quiet. And then, now I still can't see him. Why?
You're blindfolded. How did you fall in the
Later on, he saw my back.
Yeah. Later on, I saw that I was standing next to him, so I figured it was him. So I'm still blindfolded, and I'm like, okay. And I stand there. And now, the way that they would torture American soldiers was a very brutal way. I'm sure Cameron knows about this.
I do.
It's a way called it's called Russian roulette. Most of you know about it. Take a revolver, put one bullet in, spin the chamber, hold it up to your head, pull the trigger. If the gun goes off, you're dead. If the gun doesn't, you hand it to your partner. We don't really call him a partner though, because most likely one of you is going to die. So we're sitting there, and finally the blindfold gets taken off. And it's not just taken off, it's like ripped off my head. And so they're like this, and they're like ripped off my head. And I'm like, it's just like so light inside it. Like I was in one of the tunnels. And there's a chair behind me, and one of the Vietnamese soldiers are like, you'll sit now. And then I'm like, okay.
Pay attention
So I
to
sit
the
down.
story.
And then you can hear them like behind me. They're like, yo, shut up, hi, and then what? And then he's like, now you stand. We take bind off. We take bind off. And I'm like, okay. So I stand back up. And then they take their knife. And I'm pretty sure they're going to like stab me in the back or something. But what they do is they like cut the rope off. So now my hands are free. I tell you what. I thought about it. Yeah, I was just cold cock this guy. Just lay him out right there. But seeing that all of the Vietnamese soldiers around me had weapons, I figured that would be a bad idea. So,
Hey, move it. I'm trying to watch
Sorry.
here.
so the same guy that took the rope off me, he said, now you'll sit. And I said, okay. So I sat down at this table.
guy's name?
He's North Vietnamese. I can't pronounce his name. It's probably like Yona Yosnagisaki Wan. So anyway,
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yono Nagisaki Wan. So anyway, so I'm sitting at this table. It's just a little, it's not really a coffee table, but it's about the size of a coffee table. It's just really little. And there's another chair on the other side of it. And there's a revolver on the table. there's a revolver on the table. And immediately when I see the revolver, I know what's going to happen. They're going to make me play Russian roulette. So, I'm like, well, I can't play Russian roulette if there isn't two people. Well, I kind of ate my own words when I said that. Because just when I thought that, another American walked out. They took his blindfold off, and it was Private Forrest Gump.
Oh my god.
He,
Twist.
Ah, shoot.
they took his binding off. He sat down at the table, and he looked across from me and he said, Commander? What, Forrest Gump accent? He said, Commander? And I said, Private? What you need to get here? And he said, well, sir, you blew me up, and I couldn't move. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you're just sorry about blowing him up.
That's what I said, I'm sorry. Okay, so then the North Vietnamese soldier picks up the gun, puts the bullet in, spins the chamber, sets it down, spins it, and then whichever the way the bullet is pointing, that's the person who plays first. So he spins it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like this. I'm like this on the table. I'm like, please don't. Please don't.
You want your buddy killed?
He's not my friend. Anyway, I'm sitting there with this. I'm like, please don't. And finally, it stops spinning, and it stops like right there. And then the Vietnamese is like, you play now. And I'm like, okay. So I grab the gun. I'm like,
You shoot in the butt?
unfortunately, I did not. So, with these revolvers, you can see, like, the back of the bullet, you know, it's like a brass bullet, right? Bronze, brass. You can kind of see the glimpse of it, like when you shine it in the light. So, I see a little shining about down here. So, it's only going to take 2 more turns. So, if I pull the trigger once, he pulls the trigger, I pull the trigger, I'm dead. So I didn't want that to happen. So here's what I did. I was like this, and I looked right at the Vietnamese, and I was like, and I gave it to Forrest Gump. And Vietnamese was like, you're not dead, but I make sure you die quick. And I was like, okay. And then I said, there we go. I said, yes, sir. I said, when you pull the trigger, it's not going to go up. It's not going to go off. When I pull the trigger, it is. And when I pull the trigger, I want you to run as fast as you can. And he said, yes, Commander.
serious?
He pulled the trigger and it didn't go off. He handed the gun to me, and I knew that this was my last moment.
So you died?
No.
He's here.
I needed to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to go about doing it. I pick up the revolver. I aim it at my head. Hello, Cameron shot.
We're listening to his story. And he was a
I know, I've heard of his famous
I aim it at my head, knowing that these are the last moments I'll ever have. Knowing that I will die alone with Private Gump, which that's not saying much. I don't want to die with Private Gump. Down in a North Vietnamese chamber. I have the gun in my head like this. And remember, this North Vietnamese guy is standing right about here. My elbow is right about here.
Oh.
In one quick motion, I pull my elbow up, hit him. I'm pretty sure you know where I hit him. I go like this, hit him, and then the big buff one is over here. I shoot the gun. He gets shot in the stomach, and he's like bent over like this. And then I quickly get up out of the chair, and I'm like it's all quick and stuff. So it was like this. It was like.
And then you slowly walk.
No, that was just in slow motion. The Private Gump is sitting across the table, and he's like, I'm like, get up! And he's like, okay. And then we start to run off. And we, what?
Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah, I'm like, run, Forrest, run! And he's like, you know, like, you know, he's running down the tunnel. And I know
Not had enough of
that
this.
as soon as I shot that
It's going
gun,
on YouTube.
everyone within that tunnel heard that gunshot. So
He went
I
out for a
know
whole
that there are
hour
going
yesterday.
to be
Not even kidding.
Why
probably
didn't you run which road?
probably hundreds of North Vietnamese soldiers after him.
Yeah, but when they think you're the one that shot yourself. Or one of the...
Me?
Yeah, just act dead and put blood on your head.
Oh.
It doesn't work like that.
We need some dramatic
Why
angles.
not?
Yeah. We'll go get some.
Because when you're not dead, but you're acting dead, you still breathe and you still
You're running.
So
Then don't have a heartbeat. Just slow it down.
Dramatic angles.
so me and Private Forrest are running down this tunnel, and we're trying to find the exit. These tunnels are kind of dark. You can't see very well in them. So as we're running, we're checking every crevice because there are Vietnamese soldiers in every crevice. Forrest Gump just happens to be stupid enough that as he's running, he's like this. He's like running, he's like, so I can't keep up. And then a Vietnamese soldier steps out and Private Gump trips over his foot. He's running and Private Gump's like, and then he's laying there and he's like, I don't have any weapons on me. And the Vietnamese is like, you get up now. And by this time, I'm already about over here.
Alright guys, come sit down.
One quarter.
Well, we were done with the story.
And